Hey guys, today we're going to be replacing the batteries in the BMPro tire pressure monitoring sensors here. And if you're watching this, I imagine you're probably familiar with the BMPro system, but just in case if you're not, it's basically an RV smart system that controls everything from your lights to your jacks to the temperature in your RV. And then it also has these tire pressure sensors that of course monitor the tire pressure on the tires on your RV. And so I've had this RV for about a year and a half. This is my Jayco Pinnacle. Absolutely love it, but I noticed recently that all the sensors pretty much went out. I noticed about, probably after a year of ownership, they started coming and going as if the batteries were getting weak. And then more recently, I noticed they all pretty much cut out. So today we're gonna be replacing all of them at the same time. And so I'm gonna take you along on that journey. So the first step you're going to do is of course unscrew the actual sensors from the valve stem, and you know how to do that. That's pretty simple. You get your valve stem here and you just unscrew it gently. And then I would recommend doing just one of these at a time, because remember, each one is uniquely assigned to a tire. And so if you take all four of them off, you gotta, keep up with which one goes where. So we're gonna go ahead and do one at a time. And this is the first time I've ever had to replace these batteries here. And when I went to do it, I started trying to unscrew these things and I could not get anything. I wasn't sure if the seam was right here or where it was, because it doesn't look like there's anything here, but I looked up online and actually that is where the seam is, right here. So this piece is gonna unscrew from this upper part. And I mean, I can try with my fingers, but I am not getting anything. And so what I did is went inside the coach and found this great bag that Jayco provided with the RV when I bought it. And would you believe it, that I found inside this little kit here, I guess that was used when they put everything on. And you can see what we need inside of here is this unique little wrench that is going to help us get the sensors open. And so hopefully if you've got a Jayco, that you've got a bag like this that came with yours, and you can hopefully find exactly what I'm showing you here inside. So thank you, Jayco, for putting all that together. But you can see this little wrench here, it's got the little grooves that match up on the back. So we're gonna go ahead and try this and see. Yep, that makes it a lot easier. So I didn't have to use too much force to do that. All right, let's see what we got inside. All right, there we go. Okay, so you kind of see how it all is put together right there. So it's kind of just like a cover, a cap up top, and then everything is in the base there. And then it looks like there's an O-ring right there, which makes sense because in the little kit here, I see 1, 2, 3, 4 spare O-rings. And actually there's 4 little nuts, or 6 of them actually. And then some smaller little washers. I'm not sure what those are for. Maybe we'll come across them. But as far as the batteries that you're going to get to replace them, it is a CR1632. You can find these at your local hardware store. You can get them a lot cheaper online from our friends in the jungle. But it is the CR1632 battery. So we'll go ahead and pop one of these out. And then it looks like we've got just kind of a standard slide right here where we just kind of push gently on here. Yep. And then pull that battery out. I'm going to put it in the same way, so it's got the positive going up. Put that in there, make sure it's firmly placed in there. And then my O-ring looks to be in fine condition. It's not torn or anything. That O-ring is very important, I imagine, because it'll keep all the dust and the moisture out. But mine looks to be in good condition, so I'm just going to leave it as is and save the backup ones there for the future. All right, then we'll go ahead and screw it back on, and then we'll use the wrench supplied to tighten it up. All right, I'm just getting it finger tight there. That feels pretty good. Okay, and so then we'll go ahead and screw this back onto the tire. And I think the way these work is they kind of have almost like a sleep mode. I could be mistaken, but it seems like they kind of go to sleep after a while to save battery power, and then they kind of kick up when the tire pressure changes or if they're moving. That's my belief anyway. So when we put this on the valve stem and it detects a change in tire pressure, we should see it come alive on the app. So let's go over here and check and see what we're getting. All right, yep, sure enough, just like that. So you can see I'm pretty low. I need to refill. It's been pretty cold the last few days, and so I'll need to refill the pressure. But let's go ahead and do the other one. So I'm going to grab the next sensor back here, unscrew it. O-ring on this one looks to be in good condition too, so I'm going to leave that one as is. Definitely make sure you use the wrench to tighten it back as well, so that that O-ring is nice and tight in there. And you can see, I mean, there's not even the slightest bit of gap or anything right there. I mean, it looks like it's all one piece now. And I noticed in the back here, I had my phone on, that kind of in my peripheral, that as soon as I put that battery in, it came right alive. And you can see it's 0 PSI right now. So we'll go ahead and put it on, and then I imagine we'll get a updated PSI reading pretty quickly here. And as far as how tight to screw these on, I mean, you don't want to go too tight. You just want to kind of, you know, when your finger starts slipping and you're grabbing that, because you don't want to over tighten the threads or anything like that. All right, so there must be a little bit of a delay because nothing's showing up here, but we'll check in on that a little bit later. And let's go ahead and move on to the other side. All right, so same story here. We'll get this one first. All right, so I got them all replaced, and you can see they're all registering. I still have 0 PSI though on the driver's side, so I'm gonna hop over there and just see if we unscrew the sensor ever so slightly and then screw it back in, if that kind of helps it re-register the pressure there. All right, we'll put the phone there so we can kind of keep an eye on it and see what happens here. Screw it back on. Not getting anything yet. That's kind of interesting. Sometimes I've noticed they have a little bit of a delay. I've definitely got pressure in the tire for sure. But let me answer a couple questions while we're waiting on this thing to update and see how long it takes. The first question is for folks that do not have this special wrench, you know, are there any other alternatives, or can you order a replacement wrench? And I went on to the BMPro website. They've got a pretty decent website where you can order parts and whatnot. I did not see a place where they were selling just the wrench or like a, you know, replacement parts kit with O-rings and stuff. So I would imagine you'll have to actually contact the manufacturer, BMPro, and see if they can sell just this little kit here with the replacement parts, because I really don't think you want to try to, even with like a nice, you know, needle nose pliers, I don't think you want to try to remove that base. I think you're just going to, you know, rough up the sensor and make it look pretty ugly. So I would definitely try to get this wrench to make sure you get it done properly. And oh, I'm just noticing that it finally is registering over here. So I don't know, maybe it took about 30 seconds or so after we let the pressure in and out on the sensor there. But then the second question is for folks who want to know what kind of batteries were in here, the brand and everything, if you're picky about that. These are, let's see, it's really tiny, Maxell. Yep, so they're Maxell, and of course the CR1632, but I really don't think the brand matters so much as long as they're the same spec there, the CR1632. They are lithium batteries. So I'll include a link to these in the description below, but that's pretty much it on replacing the tire pressure sensors. I really like this system a lot, and I did a full review on the BMPro system, so I'll put a card up and a link for that. But if you got any questions about it, feel free to drop me a comment below. And as always, thanks for watching.